Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a highlight match from Team Liquid Starleague 9. Let me introduce probably my personal favorite Protoss player to watch. In the top right of Data C, we got Showtime, D. Maru, The Wall. The most consistent, especially of non-Korean Protoss throughout the last half a decade at least. And excited to see what he does to stop someone who's quite adept at breaking down those walls. It is, of course, the #1 Terran player and the rank 2 player in the world. The man, the myth, the Maru. Probably his weakest matchup, which means he's only slightly less oppressive as he is in the other ones. Recently losing in this matchup to Hero in the GSL Finals, denying him that 5th GSL Championship. It's not like I think he's particularly bad against Protoss. It just... his strengths don't apply as much. His strengths of multitasking and macro. A smart player like Showtime is usually able to get out ahead of drops, is able to dismantle attacks with well-placed splash damage and other spellcasters. Maru's hyper-aggressive style usually falters against a well-prepared Protoss. That doesn't mean I don't think he's not still the favorite. Okay, let's navigate that. Jimmy, we'll edit this part out. That doesn't mean, alright, I don't think he is not still the favorite. I don't think he's not. Maru's the favorite. I can't follow my own words. But like and subscribe. So, Stargate. Stargate. Not an aggressive, just the middle of the road choice. You want to scout? You want to defend? You want to attack? The Oracle? What can't it do? Hit air units. Well, name 2 things. The Oracle is the early game option in pretty much every matchup at this stage, especially of middle of the road macro builds. Just gives you essentially everything you want and then some. Now, the question will be how it works against the reactor factory opener. Oh. 2 Hellions can deal with the Adept. The Marines being added. And a second Adept. A spicy start. Showtime loses an Adept kind of for free there. Some damage on a Hellion is not a high impact play. Tries to shade away. I don't think he's going to make it. He's going to use... Gets a good target. And gets a Hellion. Almost gets out. Alright, the Hellion going down is at least something. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. Not ideal, though. Still 1 Hellion to scout. I think it spotted the Oracle. Showtime not going to chase it down. That thing drives pretty fast. The Widow Mines are obvious, but... oh, no. Does he see it? Okay. All right. And as soon as it's spotted, yeah. Maru just picks him up. He's not going to fall for it. Try to just catch it. Catch Showtime napping. If you've ever seen Showtime, he's rarely napping. His posture, near perfect. I remember that picture from I Am Katowice. I'm going to have to find it. With all the players like lounging around, watching the match, and then Showtime. While not playing, watching. They call him the Wall, alright. We didn't know how literal it was. A posture check, by the way. Don't look too closely. You'll have back pain just looking at it. Which is kind of concerning, because he's probably right. Well, the Widow Mines have once again dotted the perimeter. Maru didn't try an ill-fated drop, though the Hellion pokes out. Probably the least impactful unit to lose here. The Widow Mines. Oh, I'm not sure if he spotted him or... Well, intercept course laid in for the medevac. Looks like they spotted each other simultaneously. The triple... This is a very awkward standoff here. The mines protect the medevac, but the Phoenixes keep them from moving. Whereas the Vikings are closing in, but there's also... He could lift all three. He does. But that leaves only one unit. Showtime gonna lose one Phoenix. A lot of damage on a second. I think that's a pretty significant win there. Yeah, the medevac's still trying to scout. The boost will run out, and the Phoenix closes the distance. The only thing spotted from Maru is an additional Phoenix. So Showtime, he's got his third. And yeah, this is all just a win. Now, there is a third command center for Maru, but a good start with the Stargate units, able to assert a lot of map control here. And use it to murder SCVs and keep Maru tucked. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out! Loses the Oracle, eats a Whittle Mine shot, and just like that, knocked half his Air Force out of the sky. I didn't spot the mine, and neither did Showtime until that last second. Oof. Chardlon's on the way, but that definitely takes a lot of wind out of the sails here. No longer enough Phoenixes to reliably threaten mineral lines, or even really cover the Colossi. We'll see if he builds more. I assume it'll be Colossi first. Yeah. Extended thermal lance in production. Five racks done. More medevacs. Maru gonna go at least 4. He's got tanks, armory, and we're sprinting up the tech tree on both sides. It is day to see, which means, of course, we're going to likely have a longer match, as you can already see. Wow, look at that vision. Showtime knows the map is dark and full of Terrans, so he decides to just kind of have map hacks. He see, like... Our pylon is under attack. It's beautiful. Maru, on the other hand, has to resort to scans to get anything done. Spots a Colossus coming out, adding on missile turrets for perimeter defense, mostly against potential prisms, as a warp prism in the main at the wrong time has undercut many a Terran attack in the past. Another medevac loaded up and then immediately unloaded, which was one of the shortest medevac trips. The private jet of Whittle Mines, not really efficient on that boost, if you would. 2-2 on the way from Maru, already throwing Ghosts into the mix. Ghosts never bad against Protoss, and they only get better with time. The larger the army, the more things to EMP. Let alone the fact Archons and Templar are added in as we get further into the game. Extended Thermal Lance is done for a single Colossus. Both players well on their way to maxed, and we're not even at the 9-minute mark yet. This is about as macro as it gets. And remember, this is with some of that early game shenanigans. We had the Oracle Phoenix against the Whittle Mine plays. But now, the times of plenty have begun, and both sides should be smacking into each other with overwhelming amounts of units. Showtime has a 4th. He's going for a 5th. How many gateways? 9 gates behind. Maru has 5 racks. He's adding on a 2nd factory. And, yeah, just a 2nd factory right now. No additional starport. Interesting. Well, Showtime poking. He's got +1 done. He's got extended thermal lance. The Vikings trading shots. Disruptors on the way. 2 robos done now. He knows the obs is there. Finishes it off. Is blink done? Yes. Maru, though, actually a little down in supply. Is Showtime maxing out with 84 probes, essentially most of the tech tree, including now warp prism speed, +2 on the way. The one thing he's missing is a 2nd forge. Maxing out with all of that within 10 minutes and staying aggressive. Widow Mine gets dragged into the mineral mine. Showtime. Well, the Vikings looking to zone out. EMP across the bow, and Showtime forced to retreat. Most of those units at half HP now. Scan, spot Showtime backing off. The Warp Prism is a threat. Warp Prism speed is done. He might be able to sprint past a missile turret or two. Maru, of course, has the rest covered, so we'll have to see. Bottom right corner. Just drops into the main. The Widow Mine. Oh my god, there's a Widow Mine as well. So about as comfortable of a Warp Prism defense as you can possibly get. The main... the Zealot has to be somewhat demoralized by his work getting undone so quickly. The rest of the Zealots sprinting into the mineral line for revenge. Disruptor shot. Ghost caught on the wrong side. Able to get away barely. EMP's helping out, but the Archon's still zoning a lot of damage. Blink Stalker's blasted into oblivion. That Zealot is still going. The one Zealot who survived the Warp Prism drop now has 5 kills and counting. It's doing more damage than the entire main army. The Zealot is still going! Bomb the Rage Lot! He's got 7 kills. He's forcing the SCVs out of the main. An entire double drop is coming back to deal with him. He's still got 9 kills and forced 2 medevacs of units out of position. That ends up being the most important unit in the game thus far. Well, Maru, the Phoenixes will pick up the tanks. Disruptor shots underneath. Blast into the center line. Most of the Ghosts survive. Oh, a huge warp in here. The Vikings maybe had an opportunity to snipe it off, but he doesn't risk it. There aren't that many Stalkers on the map. The Zealot count. 2-2 is done for Maru. +2 armor closing in. Showtime Disruptor shots over the top. 23 SCVs have died in the last minute. Overall, though, Maru has lost so much more. 1,800 to 5... Well, the battle ends. Just covers the last 30 seconds or so. Showtime doing so much with these Colossi. And by, like, he's using them essentially like dangerous force fields. Another disroll. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. The Ghosts. Oh. Oh, wait. The resources destroyed are the other way around. Yeah. Oh, we finally fixed that. It was backwards before. It would be like, your resources lost, which was kind of counterintuitive. Well, Showtime continuing to press the issue. Disruptor shot killing Zealots and Siege Tank alive. Showtime just... I mean, he's on like 6 bases. His mineral income is ridiculous. He's got over 1,000 more mineral income here. The thing is, well, no, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Maru is breaking. Well, the Siege Tanks not taking kindly to Disruptors on their own. Maru besieged. 4 Archons on the way, and even if you have a bunch of EMPs, it takes at least 3 to soften up those Archons. Here we go again. Another volley. +3 attack is done, but will it matter? Fires through. Archons evaporating, a couple EMPs, and suddenly where are Showtime's units? Down goes the Ruptor. +3 attack done for Maru, and he's really leaning on it. Picks up. He may just drop on the Colossi. They're 18 gateway. Oh my god. Showtime has 18 gateways. And that's not even all of them. I don't... EMPs blasting through. Maru holding. Oh, what was that? These SCVs are getting a lot of hazard pay now. Showtime on like 7 or 8 bases. I'm not sure if he's a Zerg or a Protoss at the moment. The Golden Swarm, 190. Showtime has 103 probes. That's actually too many probes. He has too many probes. He's got 2,500 more minerals a minute. I guess he just keeps trading on warping. Oh my god, the EMP hits absolutely everything. Oh, what? An adept? We still make those? That might have been from earlier. He's actually oh, Zealots got into the main. He sacrificed a prism. I dropped to deal with him. Showtime is 100% cosplaying a Zerg player here. He rotates around towards the planetary, an even harder target. Somehow Maru survives. Showtime has lost 5,000 more minerals and 2,000 more gas. Disruptors don't really land, and the Vikings are uncontested here. Decent split from Maru, minimizes the rest of the damage. Disruptors getting chased, and wait a second. After 10 minutes, well, more like 5 of being besieged. 5 or 6 minutes of being besieged. Maru breaks out with a vengeance. His army supply is just so much higher. DT Blink isn't done, awkwardly here. And that means the planetary actually going to take out a few DTs before they even close the distance. Showtime, a rare misstep. A bunch of the probes. Honestly, losing those probes might be a good thing at this stage, as Showtime has too many of them. The DTs will find a base, though. Yeah. Killing those probes has now helped Showtime. I'm rather convinced of that. 23 more potential army supply is not going to hurt his economy much, and allows him to actually distribute his forces. It's not like Showtime doesn't have the money. He's been struggling. He's got cinematic level warpits. The Zealots, there's still a couple mines here. Taking approximately 150% of maximum splash damage, which is, don't question it. Liberators have joined the field. +3 mech weapons against Protoss, a rare sight. Showtime has lost 138 charge loss. And we're not remotely close to done. Well, here come a few dozen more. The Zealots overwhelming. But the choke point, they can't all get there. The drops from the back, ghost dropping out. We'll definitely see some snipes, I think. From the disruptor as it slams into the ghost from the top flank. Clearly what I meant. The disruptor wandering in to change everything. +3 mech. 3-3 is done now. This Widowmine keeps getting hits. 3-3 is done for Showtime and for Maru. For their core units. The Liberator's moving forward. I can't believe Showtime took this base. I mean, I can. But the army supply, Maru just has the better army here. Like, medevacs, liberators, tanks, ghosts. Charge lots just don't cut it. The sprinty boys are great at leveraging his economic position, but in a heads-up fight, the sheer ranged damage output of Maru's army is uncontested. There are the danger balls. The main... No, wait, no. He has 2 more orbitals in his main. He had 3. Disruptor shots. Targeted down. +3 mech weapons kicks in and kicks out the Ruptors. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can no longer rely on it. Those tanks showing themselves as a strong option. Recall to the top right. The gas is untouched. The minerals are nearly gone. Feels kind of like the story of this game so far. Nearly 200 charge lots. Nearly 400 supply of charge lots. Oh, Maru tries to dodge. Doesn't quite find everyone. Another disruptor. The fadeaway shot. Clips a few. Needs more than that. That's way too much bio still. More probes down. Disruptor targeted. This base is definitely gone, but Showtime swings in from the north. The charge lot sprinting past. Gets a tank or 2. Have we passed the 200 mark? 191. Shield upgrades. Maru just slaps down a couple more command centers because why not? Oh, Disruptor finds the Marauders. Charge Lot's looking to join up. No advanced ballistics. No +2 ship weapons yet. Actually cancels one of the command centers just so the tanks can move through. And I guess if you... He has Forbitals and counting. Showtime still on 18 gates, though getting harder pressed to have the money to use them. Maru, +3. Those tanks hit as hard as they ever could. EMP hits everything, and Maru is tearing through all of it. Oh no, loses a couple Colossi right off the bat. The Disruptors find nothing. DT is desperate. One DT underneath adds a bit of damage. But Showtime loses another Nexus. He still has 82 probes, but he's struggling to max out. Times have changed. Maru finishes another base. Showtime looking to smack the middle base again. How many times did he try to Zealot bombs over the tanks, minimizing damage, warping in, no anti-air to deal with it, huge warping. A full spread of charge lots. The tanks will siege a little late. Where are the EMPs? The Colossi stepping forward, the Vikings driving them back. The charge lot count is still incredibly high, but the tanks will siege and Maru will hold yet again. Showtime not done. War Prism finds another opportunity, looking for more Archons. 4 more warped in. He's trying to build more Archons than Maru can EMP. +1 shields is done as well. Even more. At some point, the Archons will outdo the EMPs, but there's only one ghost left, so he may have pinpointed the weakness. Though the tanks are still dangerous. Showtime just sidestepping the tanks and heading for the main. A questionable decision, a big risk. But if it pays off... Oh, the tanks are closing in. It's unclear who's trapping who here. More charge lots. 1 Colossi left. Juggling back. The double siege. Colossi wandering up. And Maru says, "This is my house. Get the hell out of here." As the tanks close in, he recalls Archons, actually gets out. The Nexus precious close. Maru is dropping mules, though. What's in there? There's a Colossus in the Prism. Showtime trying everything, but he hasn't yet tried the Fleet Beacon. The only tech path that remains unexplored is in the skies. Maru's ground army is just too damn strong. I don't know. Showtime, it felt like a desperation move to go for the main there, because that's not even where the economy is. Oh no, he loses the Prism warping. I mean, he gets the money back and the warping cooldown, but the Prism itself was a big part of keeping Maru at home. Maru refuses to die. Showtime has lost 18,000 more minerals and 5,000 more gas. This is completely untenable. That is over a full base of gas and nearly a full base of minerals. Blanks into the EMPs of the planetary. Disruptor shot finds some, not enough. Oh, God. More DTs warped in, looking for the critical mass of Ruptor. Still no advanced ballistics or +2 ship weapons. +2 ship weapons a big deal on Liberators, because it can 2-shot instead of 3-shot Stalkers. Though, with this many tanks, I think a strong glance at the Stalkers will be enough. Building armor on the way, Disruptor shot. Stim wards him off. Showtime at 100 pro... You need to calm down on the probes, Showtime. He's got a real problem. Okay, it happens to the best of us. And also the rest of us. 100 probes is just too many. His army is too small. He can't, he's not able to beat the ghosts. The DTs, looks like Bear. No, my God! Okay. It was bad. And also, he got this base. But Maru, we're base trading. Oh, here we go again. Showtime. The wall is crumbling to the north, but he's still finding opportunities. He gets 2 of Maru's mining bases. He's trying to intercept the smaller army here, the tanks. Just redonkulous. 27 SCVs down. And that just means Maru has more room for army supply. Or does it? I don't know. Stop building probes, Showtime. You have too many probes. He's not building probes right now, but he still has too many probes. He's long distance mining. Maru is struggling. Disruptor volley. Big hit. Finds the tanks. Gets more tanks. The siege line is broken. Showtime has a real opportunity to turn this around here. Another warping of charge lots. Cooling down the disruptors. The charge lots EMP'd on the way in. Closing the distance, but the overwhelming range damage to the bio army. The medevacs keep them intact. Showtime may have blinked a little too far forward. The DT's clearing up any attempts to retake the bottom right base, but the bio ball needs to be broken with the purification novas. And without it, you just don't have the damage. The charge lots are not enough. The stalkers are not enough. The siege tanks being added on. A medevacs for all policy for Maru, making sure every one of those bio units that doesn't get hit with a disruptor is still intact. The tanks blasting away the Dark Templar that are denying the mining of Maru, who's down to 120 supply. Showtime. Patching up the defenses. Forcing the scans. Maru down 2,000 minerals for the last 10 minutes. Maru has been between 300 and 2,700 resources per minute down in income. He's down to 26 SCVs. I don't know. I was questioning Showtime's efficiency, but I guess I can't question his effectiveness. Another orbital down from the main. The Colossi with the vision to blink in. Blinks out. Gets what he can. And gets out comfortably. 6 disruptors. Jimmy? He's preparing the broadside. Maru more reliant on the tanks here. He's decided on that as opposed to going ranged liberators against disruptors. And I think against such a mobile Protoss army, it's paid off most of the time. But the moment those tanks get caught out of position, the charge lots just rip them apart. 90 probes still. As Showtime is quickly running out of resources on his side of the map. And Maru's side of the map, because he's mined some of those as well. Maru does have a base mining again. The army supply is the constant struggle. This is why Showtime has had such a tough time in breaking the army. Is Maru is almost always able to put more down. Yeah. Literally creating a shield wall. Batteries and cannons with some Templar. He's actually researching Storm. It should kind of tell you the current situation in TVP. If Storm is like the last upgrade researched. Those ghosts just so strong. The bio army not covering for the tanks. 3 down before the battle even begins. And that makes it so much harder to zone out the disruptors. Disruptor shot, exploratory nova, another one to zone. The SCV is getting slaughtered right now. Maru down to 20. Most of the disruptor shots exhausted, but holds on to enough to cover the retreat. Decisive victory for Showtime. Maru sprints towards that top left. The cannons are not going to be enough. Storm. Oh, feedback on the ghosts. Couple storms on the front. Charge lots from the back. Showtime closing in, but the tanks are a tough nut to crack. Oh, you cannot just wander into those tanks haphazardly. Those are about as upgraded as they ever get. Maru needs a scan on the Ruptors right now. He knows the army's out there. More storms. Weathers it with the medevacs. Sees everything. The scan. The target fire on the Raptors. Full broadside. Most of the shots don't go off. Maru lands the EMPs. Maybe a storm from the north. The tanks, though, blasting through the front lines and deep into the robo units. And Showtime just cannot compete with the damage output. He's blasted away. The tank volleys overwhelming. And while Showtime has some money to fall back on, it's still precious little. EMPs landing. All the disruptors. I think a big mistake to bring all the robo units in from one side, but Showtime scrambled to put everything in position. It just ends up not being enough. This supply doesn't really tell the story because the army supply is still in favor of the Korean Terran. Disruptor's looking for a desperation shot, and that might be everything he has right now. Fires another one. That's a huge shot. Doesn't quite find it, and he's going to lose 2 disruptors for it. Orbital targeted. Colossus vulnerable. Just stalkers here. The Widowmine spotting it. EMP Colossus implodes. Oh my. Maru chases. It's not over. Maru with almost no workers. He's got a planetary in the corner. The minerals are mining out. Is this another game of the year from Showtime? Showtime makes for the best, most entertaining games of StarCraft I've ever seen. Okay? In any matchup, he doesn't die, but also his style, it doesn't allow him to end things early. He's just trying to play better than you for as long as possible, but Maru's army, he's totally willing to play at 26 SCVs. It's just such a good army right now. Showtime still has 70 probes, despite losing half a dozen Nexi and their probes. The Nexus has to be canceled. The splash damage isn't really there. Feedback's attempted. Tanks, still dangerous. Maru refuses to die. The tank's an unlikely option, but an effective one against this mass disruptor style. Usually we see Liberators. I don't know if Liberators would have been the better choice, but he's already made the call, and at this point he can't afford the production. Disruptor shots. Doesn't quite reach the tanks, but the tanks can reach the disruptors as well in turn if he's not careful. Maru spotting with medevac because he probably wants as many mules as possible. EMP already making his way back. Showtime. Another shot. Blinks in. Takes advantage of the tanks on siege. Gets 2. Softens up a 3rd. Maru is he just doesn't die. Stalker Disruptor is what we fell back upon. Double shot. Finds another one. Chases him back. The tank's vulnerable. Another volley. Gets 2 tanks. Big hits from Showtime. Disruptors. Templar. Splash damage. Maru running out of income. Though the incomes are the closest they've been. There's a shot. EMP. Storm. Washing over everything. Showtime is holding. The double splash. The tank's not able to match it. Maru's running out of options. Another storm. The medevacs are still intact, but once the units are dead, he's struggling to replace them. The tank count is just not high enough. The disruptors are able to stagger their shots. He just slurps up the bio units here. Disruptors fire a volley, aim for the tank, don't land. Oh, he gets in. Storm, though. Covers what the tanks do not. The charge lock count might be too damn high. Here comes Showtime. What could be the game-ending fight? Falling back, disruptors targeted by the tanks. Maru has nothing left. Go time. In the most arduous struggle in 345 charge lots. He loses 25 4,000 more minerals, 32 disruptors, 85 stalkers. He kills 46 tanks. It was a costly and exhausting victory, but a victory nonetheless. Showtime. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Team Liquid and TSL. Hope you enjoyed. Check out this video. Second channel. I got nothing more to say. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.